Hello, Pisces. Welcome to July 2019. I hope you guys are doing well. Woo. So, first card out, Knight of Wands. Interesting energy. Oh, bottom of the deck, the Seven of Swords. Thankfully, this energy is already presented to be in the past. We're going to assume that it is, at least. And let's proceed forward. Oy vey. Four of Pentacles, Pisces. So this is an energy here where we are holding on to a situation that, whether this be emotional or a literal person in your life, it's like you're holding on to something that may be presenting to be more of a problem than good for you. It is holding on to the past in regard to potentially a fire sign or somebody who may have just been in and out of your life. This can also sometimes denote boundaries by not letting anything in or out, but I feel here it's like we're hurt. I feel that we're recognizing the pain already. I feel that this is reminiscent of Scorpio's reading. The World in reverse. I believe Scorpio got the World as well. It was upright. But here, the World in reverse is not allowing things to die. It's not allowing things to be left in the past where they need to be left in the past. It's kind of holding on to this energy here. You may want to watch the Scorpio reading too, honestly. We'll continue on and see how it goes. But so far, what I'm picking up here is some of that reminiscent energy. With the World, though, in reverse, we're not releasing, we're not letting go, we're having a hard time, we're stuck in the pain, or stuck wanting something from somebody. Is that an apology? Is that some sort of confirmation, validation? What is it? Show me more for Pisces. So you have the Three of Cups here. You may be having a situation where you are heartbroken or hurt about something from the past where you're looking in on it, but it's like you can't let go of what it is that you feel towards them. It may be due to a third-party situation in regard to something where you may have put in more energy and effort than the other person did, and they were there for the good times and you were there for the long haul. And it seems like they may have presented themselves in a different way, and now it's like you're stuck in pain. Two cards popping out. We have the Queen of Cups and we've got the Knight of Swords. So essentially, Pisces, this is something where we are needing to be very honest with ourselves and look at the situation for what it is. This is you looking at what's happened in the past, looking at where the realities of the potential third-party situation, how it affected you, how you may have not known about it until as of recent, but that still doesn't excuse the situation that happened. And it also seems that you're stuck here in this emotional loop. It's time to release that. Sometimes we can get stuck in emotions and hold on to them to the point of detriment to us. This guy is in the past. This guy's long gone. And he may be looking towards something in his past. It may have been that he was entangled, or she, either. It may have been this person was entangled in a third-party situation that they were having troubles letting go of, and they ensnared you in a third-party situation while this was going on in their lives. So this being in the center can also essentially represent the focus of both parties, something that they were holding on to, and they were putting you in a third-party position, and now they're gone doing their thing, and you're stuck with this feeling of pain. And either way, both parties are dealing with this loop of emotional frustration here, not letting things go, delaying endings, being stuck. And here we're talking about having the necessity, clear-headedness, being able to think about what it is that you feel so much, looking into our, with this cup, she's deeply staring into this emotional aspect of herself, deeply staring into the situation and how it affected her emotions, Pisces. And now it's important to really recognize, even if there isn't an actual verbal communication here. This is mental energy as well. How are you speaking to yourself about this? What do you need to get very real about in regard to this situation? I'm going to pull 2 more cards, I feel. I just want this space to be filled. Show me more for Pisces. Justice. So some of you may be dealing with a Libra. But what I do want to say here too is in regard to these 2 cards, what brings you justice? What causes this situation to decrease the emphasis of its pain? How do you release this energy so that you're no longer entangled with this person or the energy of this person? It feels like there was a significant imprint here of something that you cared about very much. You were very happy about a situation in the past, but whatever caused this breakdown, it's like it didn't work out, but we're still stuck. It's like you can't let it go. And I think this, honestly, the Knight of Swords here, this is talking with justice. This is talking about bringing that peace back into your life. Even if somebody else doesn't do it, they can't do it, or they won't do it, or they're doing their own thing with somebody else. It's like the heart is still here. The emotions are still entangled, but it's about getting real with yourself. You know, some of you may be choosing to talk to counselors, talk to people that you trust, in regard to healing your emotions and getting a little bit more above water. Show me more. One more for, okay. Yeah, totally, for sure. So then you have the Nine of Pentacles. So the Nine of Pentacles essentially is a card where we are doing things on our own, where we are willing to be on our own because we recognize that it is something that creates better abundance in our life. Here at the bottom of the deck, you have the Ace of Pentacles. So this is essentially energy where by removing ourselves from something that's been painful, we take ourselves out of the equation altogether, but it's kind of like a necessity to break this pattern. The world is here. The world represents endings. It represents finalities, but it also represents learning incredible lessons through very, very trying and painful things sometimes. And with it in reverse, it's not allowing that to happen. It's like you may learn part of it, but you're still stuck in it. It's not moving forward maybe at the pace that you want. And I think we're getting frustrated here in regard to that. It's like we have movement forward. We have progression in our lives forward from this situation, but it's still on our mind. It's still in our heart. We're still being pulled back here. We're looking at this. Both parties are both. I feel that this is more of an energy versus a person. I feel that this is you looking at all of this. And I think that it's really time to become aware of how it's affected you in its entirety and how you want to address it, how you want to really look at it for what it is. You know, sometimes when we see somebody acting out of their base needs, you know, they're not getting something at home, yet they're still tied to other people, and they go out and they may not tell you what they're doing, but they, you know, you catch feelings for this person. And then things dissolve, you know, so there's that. I wish that this wasn't like a loop of Scorpio's energy, which just seems to be very prevalent here. And if you watch it, you'll probably recognize the connection. You're also a water sign, you're their sister sign. But we're moving forward here and we're doing things on our own. We are essentially taking ourselves out of this because we recognize it doesn't heal. I mean, this is the healing. It doesn't heal us to maintain this energy. It doesn't feel good. It's not something that's positive when the opportunity for more is at hand, when we have the potential for new beginnings, to be prosperous in our life on our own, in our own regard and in our own right, where we choose to create things on our own. The Nine of Pentacles talks about being satisfied in your life because you have essentially created your experience and your existence and your future by your own design. It's being fulfilled. It's being happy in your body and in your energy and being sated and being, you know, comfortable in certain ways, whether that be through finance, whether that be through just emotional stability, whether that be, hey, I just looked at the situation for like, the last time, and I really get to cut it out now. I really get to be with me. I no longer want to feed my energy to something that is so far gone. It's like we have all of this between us, and still this person is over here looking that way. So let's go ahead and clarify here, Pisces. Show me the Knight of Wands. What's up for the Knight of Wands with Pisces? Regret. So, it's interesting with the Eight of Swords at the bottom of the deck. It's interesting here, Pisces, just because, this person, they may regret how they treated you, but I also feel you regret how the situation went. I feel regret from both parties about this, but also I feel that this person may still be dealing with something else, or their heart may be somewhere else. And they're holding on to that, and you're holding on to this. It's like this dual-edged sword type of feeling here. Show me the Four of Pentacles for Pisces. So you have two cards. You have the Chariot and the Four of Pentacles popping out for the Four of Pentacles. With the Queen of Cups at the bottom of the deck. Hi. So repeats, you guys. Essentially, this is with this particular card in this deck. This is the After Tarot. This card essentially is something where we're holding on. You very well could be dealing with a Scorpio. Scorpio energy right here with the death, the Grim Reaper here. But what I often feel with this particular card is we've been holding on to something for so long that now death comes around. It's almost like a forced, you're being forced to shut this down, or it's been very difficult to shut it down. And now it's like, it's the final straw. It's cutting it out. When we do that, we end up moving towards something positive. We end up moving towards something that's going to be for us. Something that brings us stability, emotional balance, and it's successful. It moves forward in a positive way. But we have to release this, and I think it's been very trying to let whatever this is go, Pisces. But the option or the outcome is something that's far greater than this. It has to be, because you're on your own. And you may be, I feel like this is where you may be at right now. The emotions are stuck here, but this is where you're headed. Show me the World in reverse for Pisces. So you have the Wheel of Fortune. This is basically perpetuating cycles. Here at the bottom of the deck, you have the Tower. So allowing things to end. Here with the World, we're not letting these things go. We're holding on to things. We're not releasing. We're not learning the lessons. By doing that, we're not learning the lessons in regard to valuing ourselves, valuing our time, valuing our emotions, paying attention to the things that actually matter for us in regard to how we care for ourselves and how we view ourselves in relationships, and how we view how we're treated in relationships, what we accept in relationships, whether that be negative energy or not. With the Wheel of Fortune here, this is talking about patience in regard to that. It's talking about the progression of this happening slowly, but it's on a positive note. It's moving forward, but we have to allow things to dissolve. Okay. Three of Cups. So for the Three of Cups, you have the Seven of Swords. So again, this is kind of that highlight to this person and what they may have been involved in, and also you looking at a situation where you were involved in a third-party situation. Honestly, you guys, if this isn't matching up to your experience, this likely isn't the reading for you, but I feel that the situation was somebody dealing with somebody from their past, or that they were currently with, or whatever, and they brought you into something without letting you know the full detail of it. And here now, as things have progressed, or the past is the past. We're still emotionally stuck on this, but we're looking at it for what it was or what it is, and it's like somebody gets caught. Somebody, they're caught, whether that means about the information that they may have hidden from you, so be it. But whatever it is seems to be a little more out in the open. And I think that's important for you because it gives you the opportunity to truly walk away from something, it's like, in a sad way, it's like the final nail in a coffin, but it's not sad. It's just, it's a bitter pill. It's hard to swallow. Show me the Queen of Cups here. Two cards popping out. So I do want to mention that card flew out on the Knight of Wands. We don't know what it is yet, but right now what's upright is the Six of Wands in reverse. So this is essentially an energy where we've not been recognized. You may have given to something wholeheartedly, or you may have been invested in something where the other person was not. And you were not recognized for your efforts. You were either ignored, or this person went out and did something else with somebody else and maintained that energy with that other person versus anything with you. Staying true to that Knight of Wands and Seven of Swords energy. So what is on this Knight of Wands? Knight of Swords. So interesting. I don't know if you're going to contact this person, Pisces, or if they will contact you in regard to this and talk to you about this, but we have the Knight of Swords here twice. This can also indicate two people communicating rather harshly, but communicating nonetheless. And I think it's important, if you do communicate with this person, to not come from a place of utter pain and like you've just been torn apart. Try and maintain some sort of emotional, I guess, stability within it. It feels like you've been hurt here, Pisces. But don't let yourself run away with your emotions in regard to this person. The Knight of Swords also talks about getting down to the bottom of things in a very matter-of-fact way, almost as if where we recognize the energy of the Queen of Swords, where we are looking into situations where we're not going to be affected emotionally. We're listening for the truth of the matter. We're listening for honesty, and we're giving our honest feelings of pain, but it's not like screaming and flipping out at somebody. It's just being very blunt and matter of fact and very honest. And that's honorable. That's noble. That is important, where you're not a basket case, Pisces. Try not to get into a fight with this person. Try not to cut their head off just because they've been a turd. This is about evaluating what's happened here, and it's about evaluating what really works for you in your life. And I think that this has been a life lesson, dealing with a person or people like this, just because it essentially allows you to step into a better sense of yourself, something where you can actually be stronger in yourself, be more so aware of how you experience your relationships from this point on. You could be dealing with a Libra, but either way, the energy here presents itself where we may have communication from both parties about what's transpired here. Show me this Knight of Swords with the Queen of Cups. Why is the Knight of Swords here with the Queen of Cups? The Hierophant. So, the immediate feeling that I get, this person may have been dealing with something that either looked good on paper, or it was already a previous relationship where a commitment had already been given, yet they may have stepped out of the relationship and involved you into a third-party situation without your knowledge. It feels though that they have some regret about that. It feels that they're affected by it, even though they may not have let you know up until now. I don't think that this is a call for you're going to be together. This is commitment and marriage. No, I'm not Bob Barker over here. Like, you're not coming on down to like get a goal, like a prize or whatever. Like, this is something where, we are looking at why somebody did something. You know, they may have been attached to a situation where they have essentially, like I said, it looks good on paper, but it's what society wants. It's what society deems as normal or what's acceptable in their life, you know, and they may have held on to that for dear life because that means they've made it, you know, they're with the right type of partner, or, you know, I'm doing air quotes, I'm sorry, you can't see that, but they're with the right type of partner, like what seems to be socially acceptable, or they could have just been in a commitment with somebody. But regardless, it put you in a position to be part of this without maybe your knowledge. Yeah. Show me justice for Pisces. Yep. 8 of Cups. And at the bottom of the deck for that, you have the King of Swords. Good. So you could very well be dealing with Libra, but this Justice card as well, it can, just as much as it talks about giving yourself justice, achieving justice, somebody communicating here so they can right the wrong. This also can talk about cutting a situation out of your life because you recognize it doesn't bring balance. You have the 8 of Cups here. The 8 of Cups is an interesting card with this deck. If you look, you have somebody walking away. We have red. Red often represents fire signs. It doesn't have to be a fire sign. And the red also represents getting a greater sense of wisdom, finding a greater sense of wisdom within this situation. Here we have our 8 cups, you know. We have the 6 cups upright. She's holding one, the Ace of Cups, essentially. This is the heart energy, the emotional energy that's been drained out, basically due to deception. And she's kind of drowned out in a sea of emotions. Life has maybe been bleak up until this point on an emotional level. And we have the 5 of Cups in front of us. Regret, pain, frustration, anguish. And I feel that regret is felt by both parties in a certain way, but it's each for different reasons. This person may have regret in regard to how they treated you, and you may have regret in regard to the situation not working out. I keep getting this weird feeling in the corner of my head that this person also, what they may have been dealing with, may have ended as well. And this is where they're at too. And they've been holding off from communicating to you because of how this ended. But it feels like something here is about to be revealed or communicated, or even if it's not communicated to you, the actions, the experience within itself has been enough for you to get a better sense of how you want to respond to this. Show me the 9 of Pentacles for Pisces, please. Show me the 9 of Pentacles for Pisces. All right, so the 9 of Pentacles for Pisces, the Ace of Wands. So that's basically a new beginning. Here at the bottom of the deck, underneath that Ace of Wands popping out, you have the 4 of Cups. You know, I'm going to stick that right there. This is new beginnings with yourself. This is reclaiming passion in your life, reclaiming direction in your life, and doing things on your own, removing yourself from situations that do not provide fairness or have not provided you any fairness or understanding in a situation. If this is some sort of communication, it may give you enough to just say, I'm done. You know, I can actually emotionally let this go. You know, I know I say often, you know, if somebody doesn't communicate with you and they don't give you any type of closure, then that is your responsibility to now give yourself closure. And that's easier said than done. That doesn't always happen because our hearts are like, holy fuck, I've been annihilated and I need that closure from somebody. Sometimes communication can do that, you know, and I think when it does happen, if it does happen, you do receive a fair amount of wisdom from it, and you can move on towards new things, towards different things, towards potentials and new beginnings. But what it does do is it allows you to release this energy, to dump it out, to dump out your holding on to this sadness. You can finally dump it out. You can let it go. It's important, Pisces. It's important to not be in anxiety and conflict with somebody, to be frustrated by somebody's actions. Sometimes we need to let things go so we can allow ourselves the potential for new things to grow, okay? It's funny, I'm not even reading with this particular deck over here, but how it's presented face up or bottom up, the Tower is here. So this is kind of indicative of allowing things to be done, allow them to be done as well, like let them go, So let's go ahead and pick an oracle here, and we will be done, Pisces. I'll pick these up. Pardon me, you guys. So first of all, I'm not a fan of the romance angels, but I felt that it was important to pick one. Separation, time apart from your partner is on the horizon. I think that this has already happened, but I think that this is also, I want us to step away from the idea of time apart from your partner is on the horizon. I think we need to not pay attention to that. I think we need to pay attention to that word, separation. I think we need to release this energy, separate from it, so we give ourselves the opportunity for something better in our lives. When we have to cut the cords, that frees us for so much more in our lives. Show me more for Pisces. Badger. You have Badger flying out here. So, Pisces. Badger. Let's read about Badger. Oh, dear old friend, the Badger. Where's the book? Badger. Badger. Persistence, self-reliance, warrior spirit. Badgers are solitary, independent creatures that dig very extensive underground burrow systems for their homes. To badger someone is to bother them with unyielding tenacity. When cornered, badgers are also known to be very fearless, able to fend off predators much larger than them. They even they have a determined fighting spirit that encourages us to be brave and sure of ourselves. Good. Yes, be brave, sure of yourself. Find new avenues for passion. Reignite your life. Allow new things in, new progression. This is for you. Bringing justice to yourself through this type of separation, allowing things to dissolve, allowing our emotions about this to detach and move freely. It's like when you let go of this, like it's like Sisyphus, like carrying this giant rock up, up the side of a hill, and it keeps falling down, and yet we keep going back and picking up the rock to bring it up the hill, and it goes down again. It's like this back and forth thing. We need to release it. We need to let it go. And then we have more to do with ourselves, better freedom, better awareness of what works in our lives as we go on. Boundaries, awareness, releasing what doesn't work anymore. All right, Pisces. I love you guys. I hope you're well. I hope this reading was helpful for you. Please feel free to like, share, and subscribe if this is something that was beneficial. And for those of you who choose to donate, there's a link in the description box below. I really appreciate your help and your donations and your consideration to my channel. It means a lot to me, and I value you. I often try to write personal emails to people who donate, and sometimes I can't. It's too much. My schedule is bonkers. So please know that I appreciate you guys so, so much. And yeah, I will see you guys in a couple of weeks for the mid-July reading of 2019. All right, everybody, take care. I love you. Have a good time. Bye.